Welcome to our review for Exam 2 in price analysis. All right, what we're going to do is talk about this Exam 2 as well as how that connects to the rest of the class because it is important. We moved up stock track trading, and so actually our syllabus needs to flip a little bit, and we need to trade longer, but it kind of messes with a little bit about how Test 2 works. So I've made some decisions on that and wanted to share with you content for you to get ready. The test will be next week. This is just a review of the content. Your announcement that's sent out will tell you a lot more about that test and the details. Let's take a look. All right, when you go to Blackboard for your class, you can see all the way up to Exam 1 is the content we've had. Now, right here in Exam 1, the futures market and hedging, a lot of this relates, especially in this last week where we reviewed, a lot of this relates to what we're doing now in stock track. So, Exam 2 will include terms that have to do with hedging, the futures market, options contracts. What's the cost of an option? Of course, that's a premium. What price will my option start at? That's called the strike price. The terms in and out of the money. Those are things that are important for you to also review. So there is going to be some brought in content from prior to test 1. Now let's move into test 2. Really, not only is it going to be a little bit of review from the first part of Exam 1, but it's going to have to do with things that directly relate to stock track. So in week number 8 is where it got us started. In week 8, you're going to see some trading basics. You need to go back through all of this with stock track. These are terms, order terms, how to buy with a limit order, how to use a stop order. Limit orders and stop orders are something that's done in stock track. Stock track, remember, has its own terms, so you'll make sure that you get a hold of this. For example, a buy and a sell would get you in and get you out. A short and a cover is how you get out of the sell position. So make sure that you know the terms with stock track. If you've been trading, some of this will be very easy, and that's the idea. If we move on to this discussion question, backing up, move to the discussion question, it is right here. Make sure you pay attention to that. And then how to get into a trade, which is a homework assignment. All right, so that is going to get us through that week. When we move into week 9, week 9 is when we're face-to-face in class, and really I gave you some videos and some trading handbooks that we went over in class and viewed. Go back over these. There are terms and concepts you need to make sure that you are aware of. And again, we were face-to-face in that week. Week 10 and week 11, these were trading weeks, and there's really not a whole lot here. In week 10, I did give you some Catalan feed and tips, so make sure you review these because these are things I can pull out and create questions from that have to do with you learning how to trade. And then, of course, in week 11 and then in our current week right now, we're in, again, additional content. If I jump into week 12, you had a discussion that's about stop and limit orders, so make sure you prepare for that. So really with Exam 2, what we're looking at is a little bit of content prior to Exam 1 in the futures market, and then a lot of the content that we've gone into with stock track and how trades happen there, as well as some tools and videos and resources I've shared throughout these weeks. Exam 2, as far as content, will be basically probably 25 to 30 questions, not too many. There'll be multiple choice. There may be 2 essay types in there where you have to give me short answers to those. Ought to be a pretty simple exam to make sure that you have the content that we need. That will move us to the rest of the semester, which really focuses on continuing to trade, and we'll get into some of those resources on how you're graded. The final exam, by the way, is also comprehensive. So me taking Exam 2 and going back into 1 and pulling that forward is, I think, going to help you moving into the last part of our class. Hopefully this helps you get ready for Exam 2. And remember, take a look at the content. Any questions at all, you've got the rest of this week to let me know. As far as when the test is launched, that will be given in the instructions that I send out in the announcement. Thanks.